Welcome, Astrals. Today, the 12th of August, may feel like any other day to those who move only by the noise of the world. But for those attuned to the silent language of the cosmos, this day is the final inhalation before a powerful exhale from the heavens. Tomorrow, the 13th of August, marks a rare energetic crossroad, an invisible tipping point shaped by planetary alignments and the delicate tension between celestial bodies. And though the surface may seem calm, beneath it, the constellations are whispering, currents are rearranging, and the patterns of your future are being traced. In astrology, there are days that shout and days that whisper. The 13th will whisper, but to those listening, its voice will be clear as crystal. This is not a day of chaos, nor of dramatic interventions. It is the day when the universe quietly leans in and asks, are you ready to live the reality you've been calling in? What you bring into tomorrow's energy will not just influence a single day. It will write the emotional and spiritual code for the next stretch of your journey. Today, you stand at the threshold. The moon shifts in its subtle arc, carrying forward the residue of recent alignments. Mercury, still tracing its deliberate path, is poised to sharpen your inner dialogue. Venus hums gently in the background, urging you to consider the quality of the connections you keep. These planetary influences form an unseen braid, weaving together the thoughts you hold, the feelings you entertain, and the choices you make. By the time tomorrow arrives, the pattern will be ready to imprint. Think of today as the quiet moment before an orchestra begins. The tuning of strings, the soft tap of the conductor's baton. No one applauds yet. No music fills the hall, but the air is alive with readiness. How you spend this moment determines how you will enter the opening notes of tomorrow's cosmic composition. For the unaware, 13th August may pass unnoticed. For you, it is an alignment checkpoint. The energy will not move you unless you move within it. It will not push. It will mirror. And mirrors do not lie. If you carry doubt, hesitation, or unhealed wounds into tomorrow, they will be reflected back to you with startling clarity over the next lunar cycle. If you carry trust, groundedness, and intentional focus, the same loss will magnify those qualities. Instead, this is why today matters. It is the presetting of your trajectory. Your internal state right now is the compass the universe will read when tomorrow's subtle gate opens. The temptation will be to dismiss it as ordinary, but ordinariness is the camouflage of the divine. Look closely at your thoughts today. What repeats itself in your mind? What feelings return uninvited? Are they seeds you wish to plant for the weeks ahead, or weeds that will choke your next harvest? The universe is not concerned with the volume of your actions, only their vibration. Even in stillness, you're broadcasting. You might notice, even now, a certain tension under the surface, a sensation like the breath before a confession, or the stillness before first light touches the horizon. That is the pre-dawn signal. The cosmos is not asking you to leap, but to align. It is requesting that you prepare your inner world with the same care you would prepare a sacred space. Tomorrow, that space will be read, whether or not you have chosen to tend it. Do not confuse subtlety for smallness. The 13th is not about spectacular events. It is about resonance. When a string is tuned perfectly, even the faintest vibration will sing. Your task now is to tune yourself so that when tomorrow's energy touches you, it amplifies your truth, rather than your noise. So, Astrals, as you move through this day, hold your choices like crystal in your hands. Speak only what you wish to echo. Think only what you wish to multiply. Feel only what you are willing to live with for the coming weeks. This is the quiet work of alignment, and it begins now. Yesterday, we stood in the pre-dawn signal of something larger than ourselves, a quiet summoning from the stars that asked us to prepare our inner world. Today, the 13th of August, that threshold opens, but do not expect it to arrive like a rushing tide. This is the kind of energy that drapes itself in calm, the kind that almost convinces you there is nothing to prepare for. And yet, it is in this calm that the true challenge hides. The cosmos has an ancient way of testing readiness. It does not always push. Sometimes it lulls. This is one of those days. The planetary alignments today create a still surface over deep movement. The moon's position invites a softness, a tendency toward reflection, while subtle aspects from Mercury and Saturn may whisper, "Take your time." But if you listen without discernment, that whisper becomes a lullaby, and you may drift into spiritual sleep at the very moment you were meant to step forward. This is the disguised pause, the velvet snare of astrology. It feels like a gift, a breath, an easing of the grip life has had on you. But beneath it is a question: will you keep moving in alignment when nothing is chasing you, when no fire is at your back and no storm threatens to drown you? Many will mistake this pause for safety and slow their inner work. But for the awakened, it is a call to keep walking, even in the quiet. You may notice certain people or situations showing up today as if to comfort you. They may seem harmless, even warm. But look deeper. Some will want to draw your energy, not maliciously, but because they have grown used to feeding from your light. They may invite conversation that pulls you into recounting doubts or frustrations. They may not and listen, but in doing so, they are collecting pieces of your vibration. Energy, once spoken into the wrong container, cannot be called back untouched. Today is a day for sacred silence, not withdrawal in fear, but containment in wisdom. There are truths within you that are still germinating, not yet strong enough to be placed in open air. Keep them close, like a seedling beneath soil. Your intentions need the shelter of your own awareness until they are ready to take root. Astrologically, Venus in her current placement reminds us that not every bond is nourishing, and not every listener is a keeper of trust. Mars, meanwhile, angles in a way that could stir old irritations. But these are not meant to be voiced recklessly. They are meant to be noticed, transmuted, and alchemized within. To speak them too soon is to hand over the clay before you have shaped it. If you must speak, speak to your higher self. Speak in prayer. Speak to the guides and guardians who hold your path in sacred trust. Let your voice rise where it cannot be misused. For every word you choose not to scatter, you gather power. Do not mistake this warning for a call to isolation. It is instead an invitation to intentionality. You can still move, connect, and live fully today, but do so as one carrying a vessel of precious water through a crowded street. Every step deliberate, every motion steady. This pause is the wrapping paper on the real gift, the choice to remain in momentum without external urgency. The disguised pause is a test of self-propulsion. It asks, will you still tend the fire when the night is warm? Most will let the embers fade, believing The heat will last, without care. But Astrals, you know better. You know that stillness is not always peace, and that quiet can be the most potent arena for alignment. Carry forward what we began yesterday. Hold your thoughts as sacred offerings, your emotions as celestial ink, because in the stillness of today, the universe is watching, not for your reaction to storms, but for your devotion in the calm. Yesterday, we spoke of the disguised pause, the velvet stillness that conceals its own test. And today, as the quiet stretches on, something subtle, yet monumental, is unfolding. The 13th of August is not a day of spectacle, but of examination. Not the kind that demands performance, but the kind that reads your essence. The cosmos is scanning you now, measuring not the mask you wear for the world, but the alignment between your inner truth and your outer steps. This is not judgment in the way humans measure one another. There is no scoreboard, no punishment. It is more like the moment an instrument is tuned. The universe is listening for resonance. Does your energy ring true to the song you've been claiming to sing? Or does it carry notes of hesitation, self-doubt, and unkept promises to yourself? One of the most important moments of this scan happens before you even leave your bed. The very first feeling that stirs in you upon waking is the purest reading of your current trajectory. Before your mind layers on routine, before you reach for your phone, before you replay yesterday's stories, that unguarded spark is your soul's status report. It is the echo of your deeper state, stripped of pretenses. If you wake with lightness, joy, or anticipation, treat it as a green light from the universe. Let it expand into gratitude, into grounded focus, into presence. Amplify it, because the field is listening, and repetition today is powerful. If you wake with heaviness, dread, or a strange emptiness, do not push it away. Ask it what it's trying to reveal. Is it pointing to an avoided conversation? An area where you've been living out of alignment? Is it simply exhaustion, asking for restoration? Whatever it is, name it. In naming, you reclaim authority over it. This morning moment is not small. Astrologically, the moon's placement creates a heightened sensitivity between the emotional body and the energetic field. What you feel first sets a vibration that, if unchecked, will hum beneath your interactions for days. Mars adds momentum to whatever direction that feeling takes, whether toward creation or destruction. The scan is instantaneous. Your first note is recorded, and the symphony of your day builds around it. But here is your advantage. Awareness allows adjustment. The scan does not trap you. It simply reflects you. If the reflection shows a truth you wish to shift, today is fertile ground for that change. The cosmic field is pliable now, like clay in warm hands. Shape it, infuse it with the tone you want multiplied. Every micro decision you make today is part of the reading. What you eat, how you speak to yourself, the posture you hold, the way you respond to delays or disappointments, all of it is taken into account by the subtle record keepers of the unseen realms. This is why today requires gentle precision, not paranoia, but presence. Move as though each choice sends a ripple into the exact life you wish to live, because it does. And remember, Astrals, the scan is quiet. There will be no flashing lights to tell you when it begins or ends. It is ongoing, like a steady gaze that sees beyond performance. The question is not whether you can act aligned when the world is watching, but whether you can remain aligned when it feels like no one is. Yesterday, we guarded our fire in the calm. Today, we let that fire reveal our shape. Stand steady in your truth and let the cosmic scan see the real you. Because whatever it records now will echo into the next unfolding chapter. Yesterday, we stood under the quiet gaze of the cosmic scan, knowing that every thought, feeling, and action was being silently recorded. But today, as the 13th of August unfolds, that scan becomes more than a reading. It becomes a seal. The emotions you choose to repeat today will not just pass through you. They will stain you. They will become the ink with which your aura is written for the weeks ahead. Imagine your energetic field as a luminous fabric. Most days, the colors shift and flow with ease, blending and fading as your moods change. But certain astrological windows, like the one we are in now, act as a fixative. They set the colors in place, making them harder to wash out later. Today is one of those days. The moon's influence blends with Mercury's observational edge, and together they magnify repetition. Whatever feeling you dwell in will be woven deep into your spiritual signature. If you let gratitude visit you and you let it linger, it will dye your aura in warmth and magnetism. If you allow irritation to replay, even in small bursts, it will leave streaks of tension that quietly attract more of the same. And if you settle into numbness, the field will read that as your chosen frequency, building a reality around your detachment. This is not a call to fake joy or false light where there is shadow. The universe is not asking you to perform positivity. It is asking you to stay in motion. Stagnant energy is what solidifies into unwanted patterns. You can feel grief today and still move it through you, letting it evolve into acceptance, into clarity, into a stronger sense of self. You can acknowledge frustration and transmute it into action or deeper understanding. The key is transformation, not suppression. Astrologically, Mars is lending a quiet push here, offering momentum to whatever direction you set. Venus, still watching from her current placement, reminds you that the quality of what you carry will shape not only your own path, but the way others meet you. This is why your emotional repetitions today are not private. They are broadcasts. They ripple into the space between you and others, and into the weave of future encounters. Think of it this way. Every repeated feeling is like a phrase you speak to the universe. Say it once, and it's heard. Say it over and over, and it becomes your nickname. In the cosmic language, the coming days will call you by whatever name you choose today. So, Astrals, move through this day like an artist choosing colors with care. If a heavy hue appears, do not let it spread across the entire canvas. Touch it, learn from it, then pick up a new shade. Let joy lead to focus. Let curiosity lead to wisdom. Let stillness lead to presence. The more dynamic your palette, the more alive your aura will be. Remember, yesterday's scan has already captured the outline. Today, you are filling it in. This is the moment to decide what the world will see in you before the next shift arrives. Whatever you repeat, you multiply. And whatever you multiply, you become. The ink is wet now. Astrals, you are still holding the pen. Write with intention. Yesterday, we spoke of the ink settling into your aura, of how every repeated feeling on this 13th of August would be fixed into the fabric of your energy. Now, as this potent window reaches its close, the universe offers one final, unspoken truth. Today is not a trap to avoid, but a throne to claim. This is a quiet current, the underflow that will carry you into the next cycle. It moves without noise, but its pull is strong. Those who drift will find themselves taken wherever it leads. Those who stand at intention will shape its direction. The choice is yours. Astrologically, we are in a rare configuration. The moon, still holding its emotional influence, now passes the baton to the next phase. Mars fuels precision in movement, making every choice sharper. Saturn's steady gaze asks for maturity in decisions, while Venus reminds you that beauty without integrity is fleeting. Together, they form an arena, not for spectacle, but for sovereignty. You have been scanned. Your aura has been dyed. Now, the question becomes, how will you wear it? Will you let the colors dictate you, or will you stand in them as a chosen crest, a mark of the path you have consciously walked? This is the moment to be surgical with your energy. Every yes you give today should be a yes you are willing to live with. Every no should be final, rooted in clarity, not reaction. The days ahead will follow the shape you carve now, and the current will not wait for indecision. In practical terms, this may look like stepping away from distractions that feel deceptively harmless. It may mean ending conversations that pull you into loops you've outgrown. It may mean choosing solitude over noise, creation over consumption, or truth over comfort. None of these acts will be applauded in the moment. That is the nature of the quiet current. It rewards you later when the tide turns and you find yourself already in position. Remember, Astrals, alignment is not only forged in storms, it is equally tested in still waters. Can you hold your course without a crisis to steer against? Can you command the current without needing the wind to remind you are moving? Claiming the throne today is not about force, it's about presence. Stand where you are with the full weight of your choice. Let your movements be clean, your words deliberate, your energy undiluted. The cosmic field is still listening, still recording, still building the path ahead from the frequency you hold right now. And as you close this day, do so with the understanding that the work was never about avoiding missteps. It was about shaping the flow itself. You have been given the current. Now you choose its course. I stand in the quiet current with the crown of my own choosing. I shape the tide with intention. I am aligned with my highest truth, anchored in unseen victory and guided by the wisdom of the stars. My path is clear, my heart is steady, and my spirit moves in harmony with the divine design